Hey, so I've been promising you a video showing you how to do contour, and I had a little bit of time this morning, so I stopped my work that I was doing and decided I'd just go ahead and do this video now for you. I know it's an odd time. You guys will be watching it on replay, so I'm actually just going to put it straight on YouTube instead of doing it as a live, because you'll all watch it on replay anyway, and that way I don't have to redo it and get it downloaded in YouTube another way. So this will be your video on how to do contour. And let me just put my hair back up out of the way here. So I'm going to start with a moisturizing misting spray. This is a product that is not from VRAI, but VRAI has one coming. This product actually came from Australia. You almost always have to go overseas to get clean products in the United States, because the European Union rules for non-toxic ingredients is way more stringent than the United States. And so it's really hard to find clean products in the United States, which is a very sad commentary on life, but that's just the way it is. So I got this from Australia. So if you want to know the link, I'd be happy to give it to you. I'm really liking that little spray. So I'm going to start with my foundation. This is the Apple Stem Cell Foundation. Normally, when I'm doing a full glam look, I would start with the veil, and I'm not doing the veil because I'm on the 90-day challenge to just do the foundation with before and after pictures for the VRAI website. So I'm going to skip the veil, but normally I would do the veil, and while the veil was drying, I would do my eye primer. But today we're skipping the veil, so I'm just going to start right in on my foundation, and then I'll back up and do my eyes. So we're just going to see if I can get some more light in here. There we go. I don't have a real good setup as far as lighting goes to do a video. And my makeup is getting really low. I'm about ready to have to open up a new one. So I'm having trouble getting the last little bit out here. I'm really having trouble getting the last little bit out. I think this one is empty. That's all I can get out. And I just dropped my brush. All right, we'll get going here. This is live video. Luckily, I don't have a lot of blemishes to cover up today, so I can just do it real light. And we're going to call that good for the foundation. And I'm going to leave this out to remind myself that I need to replace that. Okay, so I'm going to back up now and do the eye primer. I'm going to tap it real hard on the table. My eye primer is getting kind of low. It's about ready for me to change out most of my things. My my quarterly subscription just came, so that tells you it's just about right. I just got it yesterday, so the timing was perfect. And like I've told you before with the eye primer, mine's about gone. I use a lot. I don't know if you saw how much I used on that one eye. But I use a lot. I mean, that brush is pretty full. And the reason is because this is soaking up the excess sebum And it is the magic sauce that makes your makeup stay where it's supposed to stay. When you're using natural mascara, you really need this eye primer because the mascara will get warm and just kind of fall where it's not supposed to be. So there's the eye primer. It's just a very, very sheer eyeshadow that just holds everything in place for you. Okay, since we're doing the full contour today, I am going to go ahead and use the pot, the gel eyeliner, and the brush that always comes with it. You always get a new brush when you get a new pot. And just the tiniest little bit goes a long way. And I am not sure how to do this so you can see it. See if that'll help. Do a little wing here. Oh, that wing is not a good wing. So I will show you what to do when you screw up your wing. Micellar water, VRAI has some that will be out soon. I don't know when, but that just takes it right off. So you can start over. And I've got a dirty Q-tip. Let's try again. I'm making a mess. This is real live video. Okay, now I'm gonna get my eye primer brush back out and just put what's left on the brush back over there. And let's try this wing over here again. This is the micellar water I'm currently using. It's a pretty clean one. Like I said, VRAI will be coming out with one. They're working on it. They're putting the final touches on it. I think it's coming out around Christmas time, if I understood correctly. All right, let's try this wing again here. That's better. Okay. I also managed to get eyeliner underneath my eye. I really made a mess with that one. All right, so there's wings. I am gonna go ahead, since we're doing the contour and the glam look, I'm just gonna go real lightly underneath. And I'm gonna take my Q-tip and smoke it out a little bit. Just like that. And then when you're using the gel, pardon my reach. When you're using the gel, you always want to wipe your brush off every time so it doesn't dry on there. And then make sure you get your lid put back on as soon as possible so that the air doesn't contribute to drying that out. Now, because we're going to focus on contour today, I'm not going to do anything else to my eyes. We'll do an eye video later by itself on its own, but contour is enough to take up this whole video by itself. So this is the contour palette. It is called, and I don't have my glasses on, I'm not sure I can even read it. I can't. Where's my glasses? Getting old. All right, it is called I Ended Up in Malibu. That's the contour palette's name. And I am still learning how to do contour, to be super honest. I am not a makeup artist. I am not a professional. So I'm going to show you the little tips and tricks that I have picked up from watching other people who are professionals. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think that you do makeup for you and you do what makes you feel good. And I don't personally think there's a right and wrong way to do it. It's just what makes you feel good, what makes you feel pretty. So I'm going to do what I know how to do and just show you the technique that I can use. And I actually bought another set of brushes to use for the contour because I don't do contour as often as I do the bronzer. And this way I don't have to wash my brushes when I go back and forth between the two palettes. I've got dedicated brushes for each palette. You can do whatever you want. And then I've also stuck the defining brush in there with the contour palette. This is one of the VRAI brushes. So we're gonna start with, and these are a little harder to tell what you're supposed to use them for, but we're gonna start with the contour brush and the darkest shade. And a 3 is the way they tell you to do it. Because I don't have a very big forehead, I'm gonna be, oh my goodness, that's very, very dark. I'm gonna be very careful with this. And that was way too dark up there. Woo! I made a mess. This is very highly pigmented. Okay, I am going to get this blended in immediately so that it doesn't get too set and stay that dark. And then we'll fix it from there. All right, now that that's not quite so shocking. If it stays shocking, I will go back over it with foundation. But we'll move on from those 3 spots. And I want to show you what I'm going to do with the darker one with the defining. So this is a couple little tricks I have tried. So we'll see what you guys think. So above your crease line, and you're gonna make almost like an inye, like it when you're writing in Spanish. And then on the nose, you would define your nose You want to get closer together rather than farther away. And then if you want to make a little, like a bulb nose, you can do that. Now let's go ahead and blend that in before that stays too dark and I can't get it blended in. And then I'm going to show you a little bit more chin defining. That gives a little eye lift. And thins your nose down. And I think I will probably be going over this with some foundation just to blend it all in again, but it's a good way for you to see where I'm putting it. I'm also going to use this defining brush and show you a little technique I've been trying to learn. So you make almost a triangle on your cheek. And I'm going under the cheekbone, stopping before the marionette lines. And then I'm going to go along the jawline again with a more defined and then right under there. You see that? Now let's blend that in. I'm going to blend that down. And that eye brush makes it a little harder to blend it in because it's so defined. So I'm going to open my new foundation because the other one's pretty much empty. Oh, let me show you. You got to open the sifter. And then there's a piece of plastic, I believe, covering. Now that's open. Now we'll tap it into the lid. So now I'm going to go back to my foundation brush and just cover this up and blend it in a little bit. I haven't used this. This is a foundation brush. I haven't used it yet, but it's a little stiffer. I'm gonna see if I can get that to blend in a little bit more. There we go. Now that color's still under there. It's still doing its thing, but we've just muted it. Now, as you get better with the contour palette, you're probably not gonna have to go in and do all of that muting. But I'm not there yet, obviously. So, there is just the dark. And because I went back over all those dark colors, I'm probably gonna need to wash my brush before the next time I do my, my makeup, because I use my regular foundation brush to do that. So it probably has some dark pigment in there, and it's probably not gonna give me a true color for the foundation the next time. So let's go back to our foundation palette. Now that we've got that calmed down a little bit. And I'm gonna do the highlights with, if I find the right brush, it's kind of a paddle looking brush. And I'm going to do some with this white, but then I'm gonna probably pick up my bronzer palette and use some of that lightest one with the bronzer palette as well. But let me just show you what to do with this. So this, you're taught to do the puppet lines and make them lighter. I didn't mean to get it on my nose. And then I'm gonna add some white right here on the darks circles. And then right in the corners of your eyes. And then, you remember now, you go from the corner of your mouth up. We'll be blending all this in. And then you're gonna go from the end of your eyebrow up. And then the middle of your eyebrow up. It's hard to do with this paddle brush. Wonder if there's a better brush I should be using. Now I'm gonna take my blending brush and make sure there's nothing dark on it. Go ahead and blend this in. There we go. It's different in the camera than it is in my mirror, which is very interesting. Okay. So there's the highlights there, and it just kind of lifts everything that direction. And now we're going to go in with our blush. If I can find it. The blush. And the blush brush. And because I've got so many other colors on that are darker, I think I'm gonna use the lightest one with this look. And I wanna make sure I'm gonna use a Kleenex and make sure that my blush brush is clean. Because I can't remember which one I used yesterday. So these are very highly pigmented. I'm just going to tap very gently and then add the color. And I'm staying up high. There we go. Okay. And I'm gonna take my bronzing palette because I love this light color because it just picks up the light so beautifully. And I'm going to use the paddle and I'm just going to take some of this light. I'm going to highlight my brow bone and the tip of my nose and the tip of my chin because that just makes it look nice and hydrated. I'm going to go back in and catch up with my mascara, which I haven't done yet. And then we're gonna do one final blend and some lipstick and see what we think. Like I said, I am still learning the contour. I'm not very good at it yet. As you can tell, I got some things way too dark. But we'll go back in and blend everything. I do like to put mascara on my bottom eyelids. You don't have to. Melissa Pepping never does. But I like that finished look. And then real quick, I'm gonna touch up my eyebrows. Just gonna make sure that there's no foundation in them first and that they're running the right direction. And I'm gonna take the lightest eyebrow definer, and we're just gonna fill in with a very light hand. I'm just on the hair, I'm not on the skin. I do have a scar here that I'm kind of filling in. I'm not going down because I want everything to stay lifted, so I'm not emphasizing over here. I'm just really emphasizing across. I'm going to diffuse the color with this again. Okay. Now, let me show you another trick real quick while we're doing the full glam look. I'm going to take my eyebrow definer and I'm just going to define the bows of my lips. Like that. And then right in the middle. Can you see that? And what that's going to do is it's going to make your lips look fuller when you add your color, your lip color. So let me put the lip color on to give you the finished look. Okay. Now let's just take this blending brush and go over it one more time. All right, what do you think? There is a full face of makeup, glam look, and I'm not even going anywhere today. I just did this for the video, but there is the finished look. You can make sure that you're blended with your fingers too. And you can always, if you think that you've got something too dark, you can always go back in with another layer of foundation and lighten anything up that you think might need a little bit of lightening. Now, I don't like the neck, the look of the neck. I'm going to go back in with my bronzer real quick and use the middle shade of the bronzer, the middle shade of the bronzer, and just add a little bit of glow to my neck. That's not the right brush. This is the right brush. This is actually just a foundation brush, and it's the one that I always use with this middle color. And I'm just gonna make sure that my neck isn't too white. So usually when you're dressed up, you've got like a low cut dress, and I don't want the look of my neck to be 3 shades lighter than my face because I've got contour on. So that just blends it all in, I think, just a little bit more. So I like that a little bit better. And then the other thing I didn't do with the contour that I think I should have done, and I think I'm gonna go back in with the contour brush, is the little V that I've taught you how to do. Where's my contour? Here's the contour. I'm gonna be very careful because this is so highly pigmented. I think I'm actually gonna use the middle color instead of the darkest shade. I'm gonna make sure I've got the right brush here. Okay, so I haven't used this brush yet, and I haven't used this color yet. So I'm gonna dedicate this brush to this color, and I'm gonna do the V because I do think that makes my double chin not show nearly as much. Now I'm just gonna take my blending brush and blend that in. And I think that's a little bit better. What do you think? All right, so there's what I'm gonna call a finished look. And that's with the contour. So not perfect, but it's done. And I think it's blended really well. And it'll last all day. So I'll look really pretty going to church tonight for the prayer service. I'm not going anywhere else today, but there is the finished look. There's the neck. So there you have it. Hope you have a good day.